Hello YouTube weight loss community, how are you doing? This is Keith, aka Mike. Most of you knew me as Mike on here, but just to let you know, my real name is Keith, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, hope everyone is doing well during the holiday season, and I know it's a tough time to eat right and to do what you need to do in order to be successful in this weight loss journey during the holidays, but hang in there, do your best. It'll all turn out. So, let's see, what have I been up to? Well, it's been about 6 months since I did my last video, and I did that back in late June of this year, and that was at my 1-year surgiversary. That's when I did my skydiving video. So it's been 6 months, roughly. And so I'm just here to give a quick update on that. But first, let's go ahead and recap all the numbers. It was back in June of last year, okay, that I weighed in at 314 pounds. That was just before my 2-week pre-op diet. At the time of surgery, I weighed 298, so I lost 16 pounds on the pre-op diet. And March of this year, I met my goal of 172 pounds, so I lost roughly 142 pounds during an 9-month period. So since then, I've been maintaining that weight. I have a window of about 170 pounds to 175 pounds, and for the most part, I've been maintaining my weight within that window. In fact, only a few weeks ago, I actually dropped down to 167, and that's only because I kind of intensified my workout a little bit. But every Monday morning, though, I still weigh in. And so today when I weighed in, I was 171. So I'm still within that window. I'm still doing great weight-wise. Let's see here. Exercise. I exercise 5 days a week still. I do at least 3 miles a day of walking on the treadmill, and there are times when I actually jog. So I think in a week span, though, I would do about probably 20 miles on the treadmill. And most of that is walking, but there is some running in there too. Weight-wise, I work out with free weights in the machines 4 days a week. And sometimes 5, it just depends, but I do that for about an hour each day. So, and that keeps me toned and keeps my metabolism up as well. So, and I enjoy it. You know, if I go without working out, I kind of miss it, and it kind of, nags at me. So, in fact, what I'll do is, if for some reason I don't work out, even on my days off, if I'm not working out, I'll do some exercises here at home. I'll do some crunches, some push-ups, sit-ups. I have a few free weights here, whatever I'll do, just to kind of, just keep me busy, whatever. I feel like I'm doing something and being productive, so that's what I'll do. Eating-wise, I still eat heavy on the proteins. I take in about 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day. But also have the chicken, the nuts, the I mean, nutritious stuff. I'll eat that. Now, I will say in the last month and a half, I've been eating some of the bakery stuff. Maybe for the holidays. I've been kind of indulging there in cookies and bakery. And like, I'll buy a small 9-inch, say, pumpkin pie, but I'll cut that up into 6 pieces and I'll freeze them. And so maybe every other day or whenever, I'll take a slice out and I'll defrost it, just let it sit out overnight or something like that and have that the next day. And I don't, as long as I'm doing the right thing. I mean, I know it's a temporary thing, it's a holiday, and again, I'm eating to maintain my weight. I'm not looking to lose, I'm not looking to gain. And as long as I behave myself, but I know what I can do and what I can't do. So there's no harm in that, in doing that. And again, the rest of the time I'm eating right. Protein things, protein bars. I still have protein shakes. I still enjoy those a lot. So it's a mixture, but I do eat healthy. I do read labels, make sure I, try to cut down on the fats, and not too heavy on the carbs, but I will eat, carb things too. So it is what it is, and it's working for me. So let's see here. Really, that's it. I mean, there isn't much to report as long as, along the lines of eating and exercise. Just do it, just, take the time during your losing phase of weight loss here to, learn new eating habits, get rid of bad habits that you had, get out of all that, and just learn to eat right, and everything will fall in place, and that's what you got to do. Exercise, get out and exercise. I mean, by all means, add it to your daily plan, even if it's just a walk somewhere. Do something. Get up and move. Okay, let's see. What else have I been doing? Well, I've been busy at work. Work's been extremely busy lately, so that's been consuming a lot of my life. Last October, though, just a few short months ago, I did go back home to Ohio. As you know, I'm here living in San Antonio, Texas, but I did want to go back home to Cleveland. It's been 2 years since I was back home, and it would have been the first time I've been home since having the VSG surgery. So even though family and friends have seen me through pictures and stuff, it wasn't the same. So I wanted to go home for the first time and say hi to everyone. But along the way, in Dayton, as you've probably already heard, I did meet up with VSG Zach, VSG Gary, and VSG Pepper. Pepper was is from the Washington, D.C., Virginia area. So she was on her way back home to Montana. So it just happened to work out just right where she was passing through Dayton that exact day that I was passing through Dayton on my way home to Cleveland. So long story short, we all got together, we had dinner, we sat there and talked for a while, and just had a real good time. It was a pleasure meeting all three of those folks, and I mean, it's so much fun if you have the opportunity, and many of you watching have had the opportunity. But if you can, meet up with fellow VSGers or R&Y, weight loss surgery people as well. Whether they live nearby, or whether it's a conference that you attend, or a meet and greet somewhere in the area, or a few states over, whatever it is, take the opportunity to do that. It's really well worth it. And you really get to see these people that you see on videos face to face, and it's kind of neat, actually. But I will say, though, during our dinner, we did talk about, and I'm not revealing anything new here, this is something that's already been revealed by VSG Bobby, but he put out a video, I guess, back in October, which I did not see until the other night, because he released it only on Facebook, okay, or released a link through Facebook, which I'm not on Facebook, so therefore I never did see the video. But I guess he made it full public access on YouTube just the other day, and it was his coming out video. Long story short, we're sitting there at dinner in Dayton, and we're discussing him coming out, and that's when I said, hey, I've got some news for you. So he's not the only one that's gay. And so I came out, if you will, to Zach, Gary, and Pepper. And, they're very supportive. They're cool about it. Of course, Zach, he's gay and has a partner. And so, it is what it is. In the military, I spent 20 years in the military, and I've had several relationships, with guys. And but, again, I was in the closet. I didn't really, quote-unquote, come out until after I retired from the military, and that's when I kind of let certain family members and friends know. So anyway, it is, like I said, it is what it is. I'm not looking to broadcast it really, or shout it out from the windows, but I'm like no longer, quote unquote, living in fear. I'm out of the military, and society has changed in the way they view gays, so, you know, hey. But anyway, so, you know, take it, you know, for what it's worth, you know. But yeah. And going back to the name thing, again, I only did that simply because I just, you know, didn't want to use my real name, you know, at the time when I started these YouTube videos. But so I was using the name Mike, which happens to be my middle name. But again, my real name is Keith. So when you would, you know, write comments, whatever, you could put Keith, you could put Mike, it doesn't matter. But it's Keith. So anyway, so I went home, left, you know, had a great time at in Dayton. In fact, Zach even mentioned it. We went to a gay nightclub, he and I and Pepper, and saw a strip show and a drag show and all that stuff. So we really had a good time. I had a few too many drinks, beers, whatever. So it was a fun time. And Pepper went her way the next day. I went back home to Cleveland and had a great time. I mean, it was I don't know, it was better than what I expected, actually. You know, seeing family, but also going back to my old workplace, which happened to be the Cleveland MEPS. It's the location where they actually process people into the military, and I was a civilian there, working there. But when I worked there, I again weighed 300 plus pounds, and so for them to see me show up at 170 pounds, and they were like, whoa, you know, so they were really shocked, and so they had all kinds of questions. And you know, I don't really care whether they knew I had surgery or not. It's up to you folks whether you want to tell anyone that, you know, your weight loss was due to surgery or just, you know, better eating habits and exercise or whatever. That's entirely up to you. I didn't really care whether they knew it or not. And in fact, I even lifted my shirt up at the time and I showed them, you know, the marks, you know, where they did the incisions. I showed them the loose skin, you know, that I have, you know, and they're cool with it. They were like, wow, you know. In fact, you know, I have to say this though. My old boss at the MEPS there, his wife had the surgery probably about the same time I had surgery, but I didn't know it. You know, I wasn't in communication with him. And so he told me that his wife had the weight loss surgery as well, and she only lost 45 pounds and gained it all back and then some. And his thing was that she was going through emotional issues from a death in the family, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just like, wow. And he was shocked, you know, to see that I had lost about 145 pounds, you know, and kept it off. And I mean, I think he was jealous because he was a big guy too. We'd have he was smaller than I was, you know, when I was at my heaviest there, 300, you know, almost 330 pounds actually. And he was 270, I was almost 330. And he would like make fun of me, you know, and say, well, you know, go ahead and lose what you can or whatever, but, you know, I've got you beat. And here I show up at 170 pounds, 171 pounds, whatever, and he's still 270 and maybe even a few pounds more. So it was kind of cool, and I knew he was jealous. I could read it in his face, so it was sweet to see that. Anyway, so had a great time at home, came back to San Antonio about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and just been busy since. So have not been skydiving anymore since the first time, but I'll tell you, you know, next year I plan on doing a lot more. You know, I'd like to go skydiving again. I'd like to run, walk, whatever, in some 5Ks, 10Ks. Just get out there and do a little bit more. Be more active. I know it's winter right now, but I know winter down here in Texas isn't the same as, you know, up north. You know, I mean, winter here is probably like spring up there. So, yeah, I plan on doing more to stay busy, to stay active. Let's see, what else? Really, that's really about it. I mean, not a whole lot new to report. I know a lot of people who have been getting surgery, who are scheduled for surgery. I know They're doing great. I'm watching a few new folks on YouTube here, but I know I've kind of like pushed away from YouTube since I met Goal, or at least at my 1-year surgery. So, but I still comment now and then on some people's videos. But no, I don't spend as much time. But again, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more active again into the YouTube community. So, with that said, I guess I will let you go. Again, you know, in a few days it's Christmas. I wish everyone Christmas again, Happy Hanukkah, whatever the case may be, and to have a happy and safe New Year. Again, I wish those who've had surgery, I wish you the best. Good luck in your journey, and just stay strong during the tough holiday times, but you're going to be successful. And for those scheduled for surgery coming up, hang in there. You know, again, don't be overwhelmed. You know, and I think many people are overwhelmed because they're like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to work this into it? You know, I've got a job. You know, how's that going to factor into it? All these questions go through your mind. And, you know, we're not born with the answers. You know, we learn as we go along, trial and error, and we learn from other people's videos, you know, helpful hints, advice, whatever. So don't be overwhelmed by it all. It all works out, okay? You adjust as you go. And you may slip up a little bit, but you get right back on the horse, get on track, and it'll all be fine. So anyway, that's it for me. Again, my name is Keith, and everyone take care. Merry Christmas. See ya.